Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to Neon's Game Night. My name is Neon with Neon Bird Games, and if you have new to the channel, Neon's Game Night is a series I run where I hop into a game or demo release that for a game I've been interested in, hop in for about 30 minutes to an hour and give my live first impressions on them and kind of give my general thoughts on how I feel the new player experience is going. And tonight, we are going to be playing the 2025 demo for Ardenfall, which is being developed and published by Spellcast Studios, and on the Steam page, Ardenfall is described as an immersive RPG set in a world of intricate politics and ancient cultures. Explore flowing plains, rain-drenched wetlands, and forgotten dungeons full of danger. Meet countless interesting characters with unique dialogue and quests, and leave your mark on this mysterious world. So this game has been in development since around 2017, from what I understand. It didn't get its first published devlog until 4 years into the game in 2021. So this game has been in development for a long time, and 2026, this year, is planned as its release year, that we should be getting the entire release, I think. I can't remember if it's going to be going into early access or if it's going to be getting the full release treatment. I'm hoping it's the full release treatment, but it's been in development for a long time, and what has got this game on my radar is the fact that it's kind of more explicitly a Morrowind-inspired indie RPG. And a lot of games try to put different elements of Elder Scrolls games into a lot of different types of indie games, but never really are fully committing to any particular style, because, each of the Bethesda games are very different, honestly. Morrowind is very different than Oblivion. Oblivion is very different from Skyrim. And so to say that it's Elder Scrolls inspired or Bethesda inspired doesn't really do a lot, because it's it's much more of a surface level understanding of what makes each of those games unique. And this one has always been kind of very specifically geared toward Morrowind. So I'm really interested to check this out and kind of see what this is like, and just get more excited for its full release this year. So let's go ahead and hop in and select new game and see what this is about. Spellcast Studios presents, and that's actually the Morrowind font there.
You are a traveler on a westward voyage across the sea. Your vessel wanders into a mysterious fog.
And we go to Oz.
Tendrils tear to whole, dragging your ship into the depths below. You are cast into the frigid waters of a land unknown. Your past life as a scoundrel, a sellsword, or scholar is irrelevant. You are now an outsider who must forge your path in this strange world.
Alright, and we get to character creation here. So, it looks like we have multiple races that we can choose from. Right now we have Karu Elf, Nariar Elf, Obsidian Dwarf. So 3 different races. Interesting. And the Obsidian Dwarf actually kind of looks orc-ish in some ways. That's kind of interesting. Obsidian Dwarves are native to the far westlands of Mekuatl. They are known to be incredibly strong. Let's see what male here. Obsidian Dwarf, Nayar Elf are native to the eastern lands of Kabbalan and are adept at many forms of magic. Okay. Karu Elves are native to Aruden and are quite agile and stealthy. Alright, so, obviously I think one of the things that I do love about the Elder Scrolls games is they, the races have particular, pluses and minuses to their skills and different stuff like that, or at least they did up until Skyrim, and even then there's some there's some skill bonuses in Skyrim. And so even though it sounds like, oh, the Obsidian Dwarf is obviously going to be more suitable for like a warrior or something like that, you don't have to do that. Oh, you can make different age as well. Age, elder, adult, and elder. Okay, that's all you have. But that creates some different visual changes. I wonder if that's just kind of randomizing it a little bit. Obsidian Dwarf. Karu Elf. Quite agile and stealthy. I'm going to be a Karu Elf. How's that? And that does kind of randomize things a little bit. And some characters will react to you differently. Okay, interesting. The Obsidian Dwarf is kind of intriguing. I feel like I also kind of want to try that. That sounds really, really cool. So let's do that. We get +2 heavy armor, +2 heavy weapon, +2 marksman, and +1 light weapon. I wonder if there's going to be more races in the full release. Body type. Oh, you can do like a full randomization here. I see. That's cool. Alright. So we're going to do Obsidian Dwarf, male adult. That's really dark. Alright, appearance. Face 4. Can we take the skin color? Pearl Tide, I think. I like that sort of lighter color there. Hair, bald, face 4. Well, let's get rid of the... No, beard. Can I get rid of... Can I get no beard? No. There's got to be some beard. Hair. Do they all have that mustache? Why does it have a mustache? Can I not get rid of the mustache? The mustachio? Do they all have that? It kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah, all of them have that. Okay, fine. That's fine. Face 1. There's a few different faces. You can't really see a lot of the differences, I guess. Hair. There's an actual Dwarven 1. Dwarven hair 1. Dwarven 2. Not a ton of choices, I guess. Warrior 1. I'm assuming there will be more of these later, potentially. I'll take the warrior. That's fine. You can either have a beard or no beard, and if you're an Obsidian Dwarf, you have to have a mustache, apparently. So I hope that there's going to be a little bit more customization in the final game. Hair color. Because right now there isn't a lot. I know Morrowind doesn't really have a lot either, but yeah, that's just not a ton. You can have tattoos. And no, I cannot. Okay, attributes. 22 out of 22 remaining. We're going to... So strength, intelligence, agility, endurance, and charisma affects different skills. We're going to want strength, probably. Affects max stamina. Attributes determine your core strength and weaknesses. Let's put some in charisma. I want some more strength. Intelligence affects some alchemy, or affects some magics. Endurance. Oh, we're gonna want that too. So let's do something like that. Is it gonna hurt us that we're low intelligence like that? I mean, obviously, it probably will, but let's do something like that. We've got a nice split of strength, endurance, and charisma. I kind of like that. And major skills. Let's do heavy armor. Let's do daggers, katanas, and short swords. Heavy weapon affects your proficiency in great swords and axes. So we're going to do heavy armor. Let's do speech. And daggers, katanas, and short swords. I kind of like the idea of having katanas. Let's do light weapon. And traits. Ooh, this is getting interesting here. Traits. So we can choose 2 traits that unlock unique dialogue choices and interactions. Apothecary and aristocrat, trained since adult childhood in etiquette, the arts, and the subtle practice of manipulation. You command any room with elegance and poise. And a brute, you prefer fists and force over words and schemes. When problems arise, you break them until they stop being problems. So far, I'm really loving the character building that you can do in this game so far. It's even more in-depth than what you could do in something like Morrowind with these traits. I love these kinds of things. I love being able to add traits and stuff. Vagabond. You've walked countless roads and crossed too many lines to count. Resourceful and cunning. You thrive where laws and morals fade away. Ooh, that's really cool. Your mind is a labyrinth of knowledge, theories, and ancient truths. You live by the contract and the code of honor that binds your blade. Let's do the mercenary and maybe a scholar. I think that sounds pretty cool. Usually my first character is kind of like a more diplomatic kind of... He likes to do good by as many people as possible. And so like being kind of a wandering mercenary but also a scholar, I feel like kind of helps out with that. Enter name. You can randomize. Oh, that's one thing I do really enjoy about some games that include random character names. Because I think it's nice to just be able to see if there's one that pops out at you, and sometimes you can even like get your mind going and seeing what the random names are and then kind of come up with one yourself. For now, let's go with Anson. Alright, and we have a summary here, all of our stuff. Let's do it. Let's create our character. Yes. Now I only spent about 12 minutes here in the character creator, so I was going fast comparatively. I could probably have spent an hour on there, and people that have watched the channel for a long time know that I edit out the character creation usually in the RPGs because I do spend a long time in there. So you're welcome. Did this for you. Washing up on a beach. Which is funny, the last Neon's game night I did was over a indie MMO styled like action or sort of RPG called Nightborn, and we also started on a beach. I even made a mention of how we always need to start on a beach in RPGs or something. Shipwrecked and all that stuff. Okay. WASD to move. We've got, you know, the mouse here, and there's only one person over here, so I imagine we need to go talk to this guy. Ah, someone's still breathing. Praise the waves. I was starting to think the ocean had decided I'd make a fine meal. He coughs, pushing himself upright. We need to find help. And we got our first dialogue options. Who are you? My name is Geki, once of fine company, now of wet sand and poor luck. I take your hand, but I suspect we're both beyond ceremony. Are you alright? I endure. I won't be able to leave the bay without support, though, so do the sensible thing and find others. I'd just be a weight at your ankle. Okay, so from gathering here, we have a little notification over here that has our reputation towards this guy. Right now he's neutral. We have a charisma modifier that gives us plus 15, but we have raggy clothing on, so that gives us minus 10 rep right off the bat. So that's really cool. That's a really nice way to do that, I feel like, versus like sometimes your reputation with a certain character, not only does the game not portray it to you at all, sometimes it's like hidden behind like a secondary menu in dialogue. Whereas having that little icon there and you can hover over it and get a little tooltip, that's really awesome. What is this? Bubble Dew. Makes one's skin rather sticky. Resistance for 10 seconds. Is that what he has on? Interesting. What? Did you see what happened? I don't know. Some bizarre storm. I'd returned to my chambers and all was fine. Then I woke to a frenzy, unable to see anything. I stepped out and the deck was breaking. Boards flying, a twister howling through a sickly green fog. He laughs, he coughs uncontrollably for a moment. Then I was hurled over after that. I remember very little. A plank careening down the water, a sharp crack to the head, a bright flash, nothing. Woke on the beach, staring up at the sky. Alright, maybe I can help. Have you seen a way out of here? Geki hacks a wet cough. There's a small cave tucked into the cliffs, just east of the camp. It's veiled in vines, but you could cut those away. I brought an old katana up the hill to make the attempt, but my arms failed me. I abandoned it in the vines and returned to the fire. Please, hurry. Okay. So tab, quick sliding. To quick slide an item, press 0 through 9 when the item is focused, or hold G. You can also press F to favorite an item. Okay. So this is our inventory, a very Oblivion-esque inventory, actually, where you have all your stuff here and the different tabs there. Quests. Ooh, very nice. I like the journal style. I know I have said it a lot, but I am a sucker for these kinds of looking journals that have like the book look and kind of like operate like that. The journal mode. What is this? Can you type in this? Hey, journal mode. Change page. Quest none. I don't know what that means. Anyways. So we needed to go where... Well, let's see where that's set again. Okay, he says there's a cave entrance just east of his camp, tucked behind the cliffs and covered in vines. You can find a katana up there. So to the east. Okay. The art style is certainly unique. It's doing a lot with this kind of... So a lot of indie games, especially ones that are kind of bigger in scale, in order to kind of like cut down on the amount of time that goes into the amount of assets, they kind of use a lot of these sort of minimalistic looking... they look like prefabs, like engine prefabs for their games. And this is probably the best use of it that I've seen, because it actually looks a bit stylized. Ultimately, I think that can kind of hinder some games for me, because it doesn't sometimes feel like the art style that they have thought about like is properly sort of realized. But so far, it looks nice. Rusted katana. Take the item. Because really, ultimately, the biggest thing when it comes to trying to make an Elder Scrolls-like game is the amount of systems that go behind it. And that's, I mean, obviously why this game has been in development for, you know, almost a decade is this is an indie development team trying to implement the kinds of mechanics and game systems within something like Unity that Bethesda has been able to do over the course of years, ever since they've been building games since the 90s, you know. So implementing all this stuff is not an easy task at all. And it's why some of the discourse sometimes about Bethesda games trying to, oh, well, they need to have a new engine and stuff like that, are kind of ridiculous and completely show a complete lack of understanding of what, like, game development is like, and how much time and effort has actually been put into making the creation engine into the engine that they need in order to make the games that they make. Ultimately, if you're trying to advocate for them going into a different engine, that's just, you're advocating for them to not make their games. Period. You want a different kind of game. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to Ardenfall. Rusted katana. It's got 34 damage and a heavy attack damage. I have it equipped. I can quick slot it to 1. Now, can I pull it out by that? I pulled it out by clicking the left click, quick attack, dash attack, hold, block and parry with that. Alright, that looks really cool. That's a really cool looking thing. Alright, we need to chop this stuff though. Right? Katsoa Coastal Cavern. Okay, well... Oh, F is favorites. How do I put this away? You just put it away by pressing 1. Can I, or R. R takes it out and puts it back in. How do I do the third person? Shift. That's crouch. Shift is sprint. V is third person. So it does have a full functioning third person view in this game as well. It doesn't look like you can do third person in combat though. So third person is just for exploration, it looks like. And your default speed is like walking. You can run. Although if this is anything like Morrowind, that will drain your fatigue. In which case you might not want to do. Lichen Claws. What is this? Okay. He doesn't seem to be too upset about that. I've got the thing opened.
Yes, outsider?
Yes, I did take care of the vines. Are you feeling well enough to answer some questions? Do you know where we are? Southern Aruden, specifically the Surumi coast. Okay. That's all I had to ask. Yeah, I only need to go get help, but I'm curious what's over here. Because I like to explore things. Space to jump. So far I don't see anything interesting over here. But you never know. It definitely feels very much like Morrowind or an Elder Scrolls game like that. Right off the bat. It definitely has that good feel to it. It reminds me a lot in that case, in that sense of like, they're very different games I would say so far, but Dread Delusion was a game that came out a couple years ago, or was it just last year? In 2025? Or was it 24? Might have been 2024. I think it was 2024. And that game is just incredible. Dread Delusion's incredible. And it was also another first person. It was claimed to be a lot of inspiration of like people called it an Elder Scrolls like or something like Morrowind. It didn't really like function in the same way as like a Elder Scrolls game really did, but it had a great like feel to it, and it had some incredible world building and level design, and I'm getting a similar vibe to that here, in that so far the game feels like it's going to be a really good exploration type game with a lot of nooks and crannies and a lot of different unique things to find. Don't know if coming over here is going to really serve us that well, so let's go ahead and head back to that cave, shall we? I could run off and explore for hours and not really have much to show for it. So we're going to try and stay a little bit focused here and kind of see if we can't get a better idea of what this game is like. So far I haven't seen any type of like stamina go down or anything. So I'm wondering if the sprint does drain anything or not. What the heck? Hello? Hello there. What's this? Potion of Lesser Restore Health. I'll take that. Yoink. I'll take that as well. Some kind of ruin. But, I mean, there's fire, so I'm assuming Staff of Lesser Frost Shot and more potions. We might want to slot those, I think. Can we restore mana, restore stamina? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. G. I usually like having stuff later on, just so that I don't accidentally hit them with my fingers. I can take the torch. Can I equip the torch? Spells, armor, weapons. Oh, it's listed as a torch. Okay. Is that equipped? Can I have... I probably can't have both, can I? I feel like I should be able to have both equipped, but it doesn't seem like I can. So, can I put that on, like, I don't know, 0 then? So that way we're able to look around. That's a big sword. I can't take it. What do we got? More potions. That's nice. So I'm assuming this is going to be like the tutorial dungeon. So we're getting our potions. So you're kind of getting set up here to have some ideas. There's some training dummies. Uh-oh. Here we go. Our first enemy. Ow. Level 1 Javak. Okay, so each of our attacks takes stamina, and so does blocking. Alright, we killed him. Alright, so we have common meat and Javik skin. We can either take the item in that way, or you can open up the full loot menu. That works quite nicely. Can you pick up mushrooms and stuff? Yes, you can. Asani mushrooms. Hollow thorn fungus. Excellent. Because one of the strengths of Bethesda games, for me, anyways, is the simulational quality of really being able to, like, touch kind of anything that's in the world, pick it up, move it around, that kind of thing. And so, even in Morrowind, when you don't really have the same, like, physics simulation happening, you are able to still, like, touch a bunch of stuff. You can pick things up, you can pick up mushrooms and all that stuff, so I think that that's nice. Common meat and lichen teeth. We've gotten both of those. Dodge. Press Alt to dodge. Okay. That works. Very nice. Very nice, indeed. What's this? Restore health effect added. Ooh. Like, fonts of healing. That's neat. Got old short bow and arrows. Let's try out some archery, shall we? We'll equip the shell arrows. They don't... Doesn't look like they equip on our... They do, actually. Okay, they do. So there's our arrows. Let's go ahead and do that. So... Okay, so you can do third-person combat. I don't know why that wasn't working earlier. But, interesting. Okay. Let's go in first-person here. Press Control to toggle crouching, hide in the shadows, enemies might not see you. Attack in stealth to do extra damage. Do we see any enemies? I see chests here. What are these? Sweet leaf. Diule. That must be the gold. Yes, transfer those, please. Paper. I don't know what that does, but I'll try it out. Kamashi strips. When burnt, will create a smokeless fire that lasts for hours. That's cool. More gold and sweet leaf. Okay, so far I'm very much digging. I am very much digging it. We have the common meat. Can we do, like, cooking and stuff? I'm not seeing anything that would indicate that here, at least. Consumables, common meat. I mean, the common meat just restores health by itself, so it's not like it doesn't say that we have to cook it, or it doesn't indicate that it's like a raw ingredient or something. Are you? You're a bad guy. Wounded looter. Ow. Okay, combat is very sneakily good. Like, there's a lot of good feel to the combat. Oh boy, ouch. It's a little... Oh, so that's bad too. I was like, haha, we can just be right next to the healing and do that, but... Ow. So combat's getting a little bullet spongy here, or spongy. Okay, wounded looter. Let's take this stuff. Reeves Light Boot, Looter's Journal, Reinforced Cuirass, Rusted Greatsword, and Shell Arrow. Let's go ahead and get healed. That combat wasn't the best. That wasn't my best work, for sure. But let's go ahead and heal up there. I can equip this, and the light boots, and the greaves. I'd like to... There we go. Get a look at our character there. Okay. The journal. Spells, stats, consumables, Looter's Journal. Most of the pages are soaked, with the final entry still readable. Juno's connection better be solid. He swore up and down the info was good. Said the merry raiders ran smuggling runs through here all the time, dropping their hauls into deep waters. But we've been rotting in this damned cave for days, and there's nothing to show for it. Very nice. Can we get up there? Ooh, let's change view here. Do some parkour. Nope, that didn't work. But this looks lower. Here we go. Gotta grab some stuff there and some cotton. Okay, so the looter was over here. More gold. Equip the torch again to try and see. A wooden plate. I mean, imagine that stuff will be good to sell at some point. That'll be nice. I don't see any more enemies so far. There's a camp. Dead looter. Yeah, I think my biggest complaint right now would just be the art style, or just the style of the graphics. I think it kind of betrays the feeling of the game, at least for me. Slate of Lesser Summoned Javik, lockpicks. Just because I feel like the sort of really flat textures don't really represent the game world that is being built up necessarily. Like, I think, and a lot of it could just be coming from the association I have of the kind of style of graphics with other, like, indie in development games that usually then use this kind of style in a much more whimsical, sort of cutesy cozy way. And so maybe that's getting myself mixed up a little bit like that. Can you quick save? He can. Perfect. Pick easy lock. Let's try it. And it worked. Got a lesser restore health and some dials transfer. And so, like, so far, like, it seems to be trying to build up this much more, like, harsh type of world. And I really enjoy that, because, you know, that's what Morrowind was like. It was a bit more harsh of a world, and you have the... because I think when I was looking at this journal here, like, the fact that the text here is kind of like this really harsh scrawl-looking thing, whenever it's presented on this other sort of very minimalist style of you know, asset, it looks... there's some dissonance there. Like, it doesn't look like it belongs in that sense. This kind of text looks like it should be on a much more, like, harsher looking paper, if that makes any sense. But so far, the game mechanics and the game feel is making up for all of that, and so I don't actually think that that's going to really mean too much in the long run for people, especially people like me that would love this kind of game regardless. Come and meet Javik skin. Rusted Dagger of Burning. Oh, oh. Ow. That's a big, big nasty. Red Agobi. Ow. I should probably heal. Alright, getting good blocks can also be good to... it stuns them. There we go. A goby shell. A very tough outer shell with low-quality flesh buried inside. Sometimes I like entering the loot menu because you get to see those little descriptions that you don't get when you just do the big fast loot. You know? So I appreciate that. I really do. I know the sort of like quick loot feature has been very popular since... I think BioShock kind of did it first. And then it got implemented into things like Fallout. And while I think it is a lot more convenient, especially in loot-heavy games, to just, like, you know, have that sort of loot feature, just filter through what you need real quick and keep going, I do think it loses some of that kind of connection that you have to looting and kind of figuring out, like, what is available in the world. That kind of entering a loot menu actually does. And we've leveled up. Because, like, if we look at that, and you kind of get to see the art of the in-game item, and then the description, you know, this is just stuff that I like. Alright, we've leveled up. Distribute your skill points. Let's, upgrade the light weapon a little bit. We got 10 points remaining, so that's cool. Let's go ahead and do some more heavy armor. We take up our light weapon to 10, I think. I mean, just get that to 10. I like nice even numbers there, or like, you know, kind of easily defined numbers. 15, 10s, you know, that kind of thing. Heavy weapon, mage armor, alchemy. How powerful potions are when drunk or thrown by you. I think we'll want a little bit of that, actually. Let's apply that. Nice. Scroll of Standard Ice Spike. Okay. Can we do that here? Where's that at? Is that under spells? Slate of Lesser Summon Javik. Frost Shot. Let's see if we can't put these on 3, maybe? Because, like, if I do that... That does. Okay, cool. That opens up a way that way. But this also has a way here. Restore health effect. What is that? Is that like a stamina version? Speed effect. Oh, I see. So we'll probably need to have speed to jump over there. But I kind of want to see what's over this area first. Wow, we're fast. We're fast. What's over here? Ooh, treasure room. Uh-oh. Let's do some archery here. Archery works pretty nicely. I like that. Cool. Honestly, I could actually see myself doing an archery character, like in my first straight playthrough. That was really nice. Yes, I know, stealth archer. Okay, you do gather your arrows back as well. That's nice. Ceromi robes. So you have a potion of restore mana. No journal. Slate of lesser fireball. Okay. So that was interesting. It's weird that you can't change the view once you already have your weapon out. You have to have your weapon away, and then you can switch the view. I feel like that should be rectified, in my opinion. That shouldn't be that way. Or at least that you should be able to do both. Alright, jumpy, jump. And what do we have here? Scroll of Greater Lightning Spirit, Potion of Lesser Restore Health, Reinforced Greaves, and Hood, and more arrows. Well, let's equip that stuff, shall we? Oh yes, that looks really cool. Reinforced Greaves. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Cool. We've got Rusted Katana, Rusted Greatsword. That should be heavy arms, right? Okay. I think we got that. And now, where do we go? We go up here. There's a chest. It's going to lure me to some kind of trap, isn't it? This reeks of boss fight. Yep. It was a mimic. I should have known better. Uh-oh. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. There we go. Whew. Common meat. Standard potion of standard levitation. Ooh. Of course, it can't be like a Morrowind like without having levitation, because every Morrow boomer complains about the lack of levitation in the rest of the games. And I'm using Morrow boomer kind of jokingly because I also started with Morrowind, pretty much. And then went backwards, played Daggerfall, and Arena, and then forward into Oblivion, Skyrim, all that stuff. And despite Morrowind being my first, it's actually, I don't know... Ooh, there's a chest up there. I wouldn't always call it my favorite. Usually when I talk about the Elder Scrolls games, I would say that... Oh, well, what am I doing? I was looking for a way up. And, well, we have the Potion of Levitation. So there we go. But, I usually say what my favorite Elder Scrolls game. It's whichever one I'm currently playing. But like, if I had to actually give like any kind of put them in a ranking, the separation between the rankings would be very, very small. But Daggerfall and Oblivion would actually be kind of my two at the top. That I couldn't really choose between the two exactly all the time. But that's just kind of my take there. Let's probably take another one just so that we can avoid dying on our way down. There we go. I could probably use another healing potion. Why am I so slow? Ah! Oh, this really is an Elder Scrolls-esque game. We are over-encumbered, aren't we? Yes, 108.9 over 106. So we need to get rid of something. Or maybe eat something. That didn't actually take a lot of stuff back, did it? Weight 8. That's worth a lot, so I definitely don't want to sell those. This weighs a lot, and I don't think I'm going to use quite that much, so let's just drop that one. That gives us some more space there. Rusted Great Axe. No, let's not immediately go back and do that. Now we're going to exit into Ardenfall. Discovered Bisawa. Oh, wow. Okay. Now these are our steps in the open world. I imagine. Is there a way across? Yes. We've got our first little town right here. Okay, interesting. What is this? I'll take that. Why not? Getting some Satanine vibes already. Hello there. I'd like to talk to you. Please don't kill me. And he walks away. Hey, I'm trying to talk to you. You, outsider. Hello? What's going on with this camera? I will not ask how you arrived to our little village. Frankly, I do not care. I'll be keeping my eye on you. If I see the mere glint of your sword, you lose your head. Why, I would never dare touch an innocent life. I'm sure you can extend such kindness to me, yes? Her eyes soften ever so lightly. For now, I will leave you alone, but I'm always watching. Aren't you a bit seasoned to be guarding this village? The elf scowls. The years of experience have only sharpened my blade, outsider. I may be unable to swim in the frigid waters of caverns, but I am more than able to kill beast. And man. Okay, goodbye.
Yes?
Delver Nissa. That's still in progress. Do I need to go back and talk to him? I'm trying to get him help, right? Merc. Salt of the Sea. What are you? You're even more hideous than a Nayar. Alright, what is going on with this dialogue camera? What can you tell me about this strange fog? Zoa names the fog a spirit's curse. I say it's the Nayar. Their blustering sails scare the fish, and the fog follows close behind. It sits year after year and drags it deep up into our waters. That's what put the abomination in the past. What can you tell me about the creature stuck in the past? The deep's full of such things. You only notice now because it's in your way. I spoke of monsters before, and few believed me. Now the fog's driven onto our trade routes, and all see what I've long known. All right, goodbye. Perhaps it's time for you took your leave and stayed gone. Yep, very much getting the unpleasantness from Morrowind. From that, people don't want to talk to me.
Yes?
Hello there. Alright, so the conversation view works just fine here in first person, but not in third person. A dwarf here of all places. You've come far. Too far. Bisawa has little welcome to spare. That's all I can tell. If you want more, speak to Iago. Iago? He's the eldest in Bisawa. The wisest. Speak with him. Okay. Iago, then. Is this... Do I need to speak to Iago to, like, actually get the... do the part for the quest? Like, am I supposed to be getting that guy help? Public storage chest. Oh, that's nice. Actually, can we trade stuff? I'd like to see what's for sale. We don't have much to spare. That's fine. I want you to take my stuff. I want you to sell you things. Yes. Very nice. Cool. Alright, so we got a little bit of money from that. Is there anything else I can sell? I don't really want the staff. Oh, this trader does not pay full price for this type of item. Interesting. So I probably messed myself up, didn't I? That kind of sucks. That's fine. Oh, but I could cancel. Let's cancel. Cancel trade. Right. So I'm not getting full value for those things. I am getting full value for these, though, pretty much. So that's fine. I like that aspect to it. I like when games encourage you to sell items to the people that make sense instead of just dumping all your stuff in one place. The older Elder Scrolls games, the older Bethesda games, did that where I think they still might, where you can't always sell everything to one person. Now, they still do that. But I enjoy when games do that. I enjoy when RPGs don't just let you dump everything in one place. I like that. And I like that this is actually encouraging that by way of saying, hey, you're not going to get your full value by selling to this person. So I like that a lot. So let's trade. Perfect. Goodbye. Iago, then. That's not you, that's Delver. Merc.
Yes, outsider? Yes, outsider?
Zoa. Zoa's enjoying himself. Door locked.
Yes, outsider?
That looks like an old wise guy. Let's go talk to him. Are you Iago? Iago the Old. I know not what manner of creature you are, or what brought you to Bisawa, but you are not welcome here. This village bends beneath its own weight, stranger. An outsider's feet dragging through our sands would only press us lower. It's best you seek another shore. I came from the neighboring bay through a cave. Then to the bay you must return. You must go anywhere but here. Many unbelievers traverse the face of our waters. Many strangers. The hearts of these outsiders anger the sea spirits who have laid the fog upon us. It drives the sea mad, luring creatures from the deep to our reefs and shores, one of which is colossal and lodged in the pass to Akaga, closing our trade road and casting its mass over our food stores. Another stranger will only worsen the spirits' ire. Well, permit me to remain, and I'll clear the trade road, then be gone. You speak as though the beast were but driftwood or a pile of stone. It is no mere object to be pushed aside. It is a thing of the spirits, dwelling in this realm but not owned by it. Any shortcut you take would wound it and bring greater ruin upon Bisawa. This matter is not for strangers. I will not allow it. I ask you again, depart from here. Okay. I give my hand freely and respectfully. I will bring no harm to this creature. Fine, linger if you must. Though with the trade route blocked, we have nothing for you. Do not mistake this for a welcome. Till the beast is driven from the past, you are no guest in Bisawa, only another burden we suffer. There is a hermit called Yogak, living in Sinag Hallow. If your will is set on dislodging the creature, he alone may hold the knowledge. Either way, I believe he's our best hope of removing this creature safely. Vali Traveler, act wisely. Interesting. So yeah, definitely you're not welcome here. Definitely getting the Morrowind treatment of being an outsider and all that stuff. And also I think it's interesting that, like, you know, if you're going to become a hero in this place, it's not because they're looking for one. And especially they're not looking for you to become their hero. You're really kind of fighting against that. And it's really, you're having to decide if you're doing this really for the sake of just, like, feeling good about yourself, or if you're actually, like, caring to help these people. Which I think is interesting. Who are you? Chasa. Greetings, dear stranger. I saw you come from that cave. Did you see any jellyfish in there? Blue ones that glow like little lamps? Why do you ask? Are you worried I got poisoned? Not at all. It's the caves I'm worried about. You see, I wish to catch one, but they only dwell in underground rivers and lakes. Other things lurk there, too. Things that would drag me to an early grave. And I... She looks out to the sea with a sigh. Owe him to wait for his return, even if he never comes. Oh, forgive a poor woman's ramblings. I seek a cave jellyfish to give to the sea spirits. Their flavor is sweet, almost like a berry's, and the spirits love it quite much. Whenever I send one out, the sea becomes calm, the sound of its waves a soothing song. Please, kind stranger, you seem the type who shies not from the deep and dark. Can you go and catch a cave jellyfish for me? They are blue like the deepest sea, and they glow like little lamps, a beacon in the darkest caves. Okay, if I find one, I'll make sure to bring it back to you. Spirits will surely bless you for your kindness, good stranger. Please don't forget about it. I'm in need of their blessing, too. Okay. Do you have a place for a wayward traveler to rest? I don't want strangers in my home. Find another place to sleep. Alright, fine. Coral... whatever. What was that? Sawa. What was the cave called? Oh, cancel. 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 I don't want that. Between a rock and a hard place. No. In progress. Completed. Oh. Quests. Okay, so I guess the talking to the other guy wasn't really a quest, is it? So I don't think there's really much I can do for Geki, then, is there? The Coral Forest Cavern. That's not the place that we went, that we came from, is there? Because there was that period, there was that place that had all that water. So I don't know if that's what it's talking about. I haven't saved in a long time, so I'm going to quick save there. Can you swim? We can swim. Alright. Katsoa Coastal Cavern. So that's not the same thing. We need... what do we need? We need the Coral Forest Cavern. So I imagine we need to go kind of north a bit. The sound effects are really nice. I like the way that the sound effects like really give the world a grounded feel. It really feels like a real place. This game is so far really excelling at the sort of the sense of verisimilitude, the sense that things are like real and make sense and like could exist in this way as it would in kind of like life. It gives that sense that you are actually exploring a real place, which I think is one of the things that people miss when it comes to trying to adapt the style of Bethesda games to different genres or just to as an indie game. I think that focus isn't sometimes as much as thinking like, oh, it just needs to be open world and have some lore, and then if we mash all that stuff together, then there you go. It's going to be like an Elder Scrolls like. But that sense of verisimilitude, the sense that this could actually exist, and the sense that we could like live in this world as a person, and that our character is just another person within the world and not some special case within it, is central to that idea. Level 3. We're only level 2, aren't we? Ow. I'm gonna need to use a potion. Come on. Get him. We can get him. Almost there. There we go. Common meat and a goby legs. Not quite level 3. This is quite beautiful, I gotta say. I think that's one of those bad guys that was shooting things at us in the cave. Take that. What do we have in here? Pearl lichen. Ooh. There's stuff back there. Stuff under there. I'm going to quick save and go under here. See what these are. We've got the breath meter just above the health. Scroll of Hurricane. Mysterious flower. Not bad. Very nice. I don't know if there's supposed to not be any sound effects while I'm swimming. Or not. What do we have in here? Hello? Seem to be friendly. Oh, it's Geki. Ah, a Meki. Still standing, I see. A small comfort. The cavern was disagreeable, and I'm glad to be done with it. Your clearing the path allowed me to leave it behind, and for that I'm obliged. Apparently, a creature had taken up residence along the road to Akaga, an unnecessary complication. And those savages on the beach were no help. So here I am, destitute and without a home until the path is cleared. By the way, if circumstances leave you in possession of items better moved quietly, I can be of service. Provenance is often overstated. Value is not. Do you have anything to trade? You do not need to ask such ridiculous questions. The true query is whether someone such as yourself deserves my wares. Doesn't hurt to take a look, of course, and remember, if you happen to have less legal products to trade, I may look the other way. I speak the language of Diul, not frivolous local laws. Alright, interesting. Alright, so we have another merchant we can sell things to, and we do get our full value for those things there that we could sell. Do we have anything else that we might want to sell? Low skill, so those aren't going to be useful for us, so I'm going to sell those. I'll sell the staff. I don't really need that. Common meat. I want to keep our potions. I am a potion hoarder, as it were. These don't have any values, I guess. I still haven't encountered anything that remotely seems like crafting so far. I imagine that'll be different eventually, but I don't see anything here so far that would say that we do. So I'm going to sell all of this stuff, because what is it classified as? What is this tab classified as? I don't know. Misk? Pearl lichen, potent seashell. Whoa, what was that? What did that say? A unique shell traditionally ground into powder and made into tea that gives great energy, usually reserved for one's wedding night. Aha, I see. Yes, interesting. I did see he had a book. Under the Shade of the Limbs of Akaga, a short novel written by a Akagian author many years ago. Its pages smell of sea salt. It's worth a lot. I do kind of want that. But let's go ahead and then sell all the rest of this stuff then. Keep the lockpicks, since I'm getting the full value. That's pretty nice. Alright, so that looks pretty good for what we've got. Let's go ahead and trade that. Good doing business with you. Alright, goodbye. Kind of want to read that book. Under the Shade of the Limbs of Akaga. Sunlight. See, this is another kind of, again, this kind of text here just doesn't seem like it fits. Like, the visual language of the game is a little mixed for me. Like, on one hand, the sort of tone of the game is very sort of much more harsh and more gritty, kind of a bit more high fantasy in that sense, a little darker, a little bit more like Morrowind, where things are a bit gritty, more alien, and all that stuff. But then some of the visual language of the game makes it feel more cheery and subdued, I guess. Like, this font just doesn't look like the font that it should be, and the book does not look like what it should be with what the kind of the world building has been building up things to look and feel like, I guess. So I'm not going to go ahead and read all of that now, but I think that that's interesting that there are like books available to have in the game, which is one thing that I think that is actually an important part of Bethesda games, and especially Elder Scrolls, is actually like being able to flesh out its lore like that in this in-game stories, and specifically not being just like lore dumps in books. Some games will do that. Oh, and I think that that's a mistake, is they'll have books, but it'll basically just be lore dumps within the books that wouldn't be any different than what you'd get in like codex entries that are basically like encyclopedia-like information that, oh, this war happened this time and these rulers did this terrible thing and all that stuff. Whereas the presentation of like the stories in like Elder Scrolls or whatever, they're actually depicted like novels written by actual in-universe people. Alright, looks like I'm going to have to either levitate or jump over here. Nope, that's not going to work. Alright, so let's levitate up there. And what do we have? More stuff. Kui jaw? Interesting. What's this say? Anything? Nope. Got a treasure chest. It's Saru Foot. Restore mana, lesser attack speed. It's Saru Foot. A gemstone. That's nice. Slate of lesser fortified charisma. Very nice. But I always just found that it's much more immersive for me and a lot more like better for world building when you're actually like displaying books as they would be in the real world and not just like encyclopedia entries, basically. So I enjoy that. Let's take some common meat and heal up so that we can heal a little bit. Let that heal up. It is raining. Do we get like a debuff or something? We do get a debuff from when it's raining. Interesting. And so if we're in here, we're not protected by that. So it's very much a Bethesda game in that sense, and that like the rain is tracked for you. Although it is letting me, even though like there is water coming down, it does track that I'm not getting wet. Whereas if I'm out underneath, I am. So that's interesting. That's really interesting. Why do I have the skill Light boots, I see. Since they're light and not heavy armor. And oh my goodness, we are well over an hour at this point. I have completely lost track of time. I think we're going to have to kind of wrap things up here, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of unfortunately, because I've been having an absolute blast with this, evidenced by the fact that the time has just slipped away. Well, I think, if anything, I think that should be should serve as much of an endorsement as I possibly can that I am really enjoying this, and I am very excited for its launch here in 2026, and needless to say, I will be picking this up because I think this is the kind of game that would resonate with me a lot. I don't know if I'll do like a let's play of it or whatever when it comes out, but I'll certainly be playing it for myself. I can assure you that much, and you know, for a lot of things I like to be able to kind of dive into it myself, because I miss a lot of stuff when I'm commentating and all that, and when I'm playing it by myself I can really take it slow and, you know, really enjoy everything. And this is a kind of game that already I would say I definitely am going to want to do. Oh, you can wait. Okay, you can wait and rest that way. But, yeah, so this has been the demo for Ardenfall. If this has been interesting to you, I'm going to leave links to the game and the demo down in the description down below, so make sure to get this on your wish list and keep an eye on the development of this game, especially if you've been looking for Morrowind-inspired games, Elder Scrolls-inspired games. It looks like this is going to be right up our alleys, and it's really going to be a really, really great time. This demo itself also has achievements, so the amount of stuff that is in here is going to be so much more than the fraction of the amount of stuff that I've been able to sort of show off here. You could probably play the demo for multiple hours just in and of itself and almost feel like you've had a kind of a game experience just by itself. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Ardenfall. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing. And let me know how I'm doing in the comments section down below. But other than that, guys, I will catch you all in the next video. Cheers.